Conflicted judge finds Trump and threatens him with jail time. The judge over the Trump case in New York, Juan Merchan, detailed in an order that President Trump has continued with willful violations of a gag order and could face incarceration if it becomes necessary and appropriate. Merchan has fined Trump $9,000 for violating the gag order that bans him from speaking publicly about witnesses and family members of court officials. Attorneys for Trump contend the gag order is a violation of Trump's First Amendment rights. DA Bragg believes Trump has violated the order at least 14 times as of last week. The order was imposed on Trump just before the beginning of the trial last month. Merchan stated during a hearing last week that President Trump was losing all credibility. The defense team argued that Trump was responding to attacks when he made the comments that Merchan says violated the gag order. Trump slammed the case as a scam promoted by the Biden administration, and the gag order strips him of the ability to defend himself. Trump surges in key states. Despite legal battles, Biden-Harris ticket faces uphill struggle. Bloomberg has revealed that the latest on the Trump and Biden race is shocking. As Trump is being put through the ringer in Manhattan, Trump is up by 7 and 8 points in Arizona and Nevada. The tough part is that Trump is obligated to be in court 4 days a week and not able to engage in his campaign. There is more. In North Carolina, Trump has a 10-point lead, 6 points in Georgia, and 4 points in Wisconsin. Many agree that the former president's lead is expected to grow wider as the Biden administration continues to anger voters with the worst economy in memory. One unique attribute to all of this is the subject of the vice president, which usually is not a major thing voters think about when the time comes. But, in this case, with Biden's obvious physical infirmity, Dems are forced to think about Kamala Harris and shudder at the thought of that. Because of the Biden infirmity and the Harris factor, the gap is going to widen for President Trump. The issues at hand are self-inflicted wound from Biden and include appeasement, the border, crime, DA, education, inflation, and Israel. That's a lot of baggage for Biden and Harris to lift, and Americans know that. Bill to ban TikTok in U.S. moves ahead in Congress. The U.S. House of Representatives approved a bill Saturday that would force the wildly popular social media app TikTok to divest from its Chinese parent company ByteDance or be shut out of the American market. U.S. and other Western officials have voiced alarm over the popularity of TikTok with young people, alleging that it allows Beijing to spy on users. It has 170 million in the United States alone. These critics also say TikTok is subservient to Beijing and a conduit to spread propaganda. China and the company deny these claims. New rules. Pregnant workers must get time off for birth. Pregnant workers are about to get time off and key workplace accommodations as part of new rules, according to an announcement by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission on Monday. The new law, finalized under the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, includes time off for childbirth, miscarriages, and more. It also includes accommodations like breaks for hydrating, eating, resting, or using the restroom, telework, leave for medical appointments, or altering a work schedule. EEOC Chair Charlotte A. Burrows said in a press release on Monday, this final rule provides important information and guidance to help employers meet their responsibilities, and to job seekers and employees about their rights. It encourages employers and employees to communicate early and often, allowing them to identify and resolve issues in a timely manner. Landmark Trump hush money criminal trial to start in New York. Donald Trump goes to court Monday as the first U.S. ex-president ever to be criminally prosecuted. A seismic moment for the United States as the presumptive Republican nominee campaigns to retake the White House. The scandal-plagued 77-year-old is accused of falsifying business records in a scheme to cover up an alleged sexual encounter with adult film actor Stormy Daniels to shield his 2016 election campaign from adverse publicity. The so-called hush money affair is only one of 4 criminal cases hanging over Trump, and some legal observers suggested is the least serious. Tight security planned ahead of Trump hush money trial. Former President Donald Trump is expected to attend each day of what could be a 6-week trial, but he won't just have his attorneys with him. Like all former presidents, Trump will be protected by U.S. Secret Service agents. In addition, court security officials and the New York Police Department will be watching closely. Former President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to charges he paid hush money to adult film actress Stormy Daniels through a lawyer and covered it up as a legal expense before being elected president. The trial is set to start Monday with jury selection. Trump will be there, and so will the U.S. Secret Service. Trump hosts fundraiser in Florida in funding match with Biden. Donald Trump is holding a major fundraising event in Florida on Saturday, hoping to lay down a new marker in a swaggering, high-stakes race for large donations with Joe Biden. While spending huge sums of money on campaigning may not be something to brag about in some countries, in the United States it's a source of pride for candidates. And this year, raising big campaign bucks is as important as ever, with the November 5th presidential election expected to be the most expensive electoral cycle in the country's history. Elon Musk says Tesla will unveil robotaxi in August. Elon Musk revealed Friday that Tesla will pull back the curtain on a robotaxi this summer, news that comes as adoption of self-driving vehicles hits speed bumps over safety concerns. The billionaire boss of the electric car maker did not provide details, saying only in his post on X that the Tesla robotaxi unveil will come on August 8th. Tesla shares rose more than 3% in aftermarket trades following the post. After finishing the day down, Musk has long boasted of work Tesla is doing on its systems for electric cars to drive themselves. Tesla models with FSD will be superhuman to such a degree that it will seem strange in the future that humans drove cars, even while exhausted and drunk, he said in a post on X in March. Musk has also said that owners of Tesla vehicles with FSD will be able to have their cars serve as robot access, rather than remain idly parked. Despite its potential, rollout of self-driving vehicles in the United States has been tentative and rocky so far as both regulators and the public voice safety concerns. San Francisco has been a testing ground for the technology. Here are some precedents they now have established for America in the future. 1. When in control of the Senate, demand the end of the filibuster. When not, don't. 2. Call for the end of the Electoral College, but only if it appears to recently favor the candidate of the opposition. 3. In an election year, change any state balloting laws deemed unhelpful through administrative fiat or court order to favor your political candidate. 4. Seek to flip electors from voting in accordance with the popular vote count in their states. Indict as an insurrectionist any of the opposition who dare do the same. 5. Raid the home of any opposition ex-president who removed classified files. Exempt any sitting president of your party who did the same. 6. Swarm the private homes of, and then bully and intimidate any Supreme Court officials, politicians, or citizens you oppose. Biden bribery allegations. Grand jury accuses key source of lying. The U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation seem to have their wires crossed over a key witness in the Hunter Biden bribery investigation. DOJ Special Counsel David Weiss announced a grand jury issued an indictment against Alexander Smirnov. According to the DOJ, Smirnov, 43, was charged with making a false statement in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1001 and creating a false and fictitious record in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1519 for statements he made that were recorded in an official record by the FBI. Smirnov reportedly was arrested in Las Vegas upon arrival at Harry Reid International Airport from an overseas flight. Democrats, in line with most media outlets, are calling Smirnov a liar, while playing up the notion that Republicans would seem no longer to have a bribery case against Hunter Biden and his father, Joe. U.S. facing serious security threat, top lawmakers. The United States is facing a new and serious national security threat, top officials warned Wednesday, with two media outlets reporting it involves a Russian attempt to build a space-based nuclear capability. ABC News and the New York Times quoted unidentified officials saying that Russia was developing a nuclear, space-based anti-satellite weapon. According to officials quoted in the Times, Russia has not yet deployed such a capability. In public, officials said there was no need for panic, but refused to give details, only issuing cryptic statements about a serious matter, which is set to be discussed in a closed-doors meeting between congressional leaders and the White House on Thursday. The first inkling of something unusual came from U.S. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Michael Turner, who abruptly issued a statement referring to a serious national security threat. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so that Congress, the administration and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat, he said. Unidentified sources told NBC and CNN the threat was a highly concerning Russian military capability, without providing further details. Turner and his Democratic counterpart Jim Himes said in a letter to lawmakers the panel had identified an urgent matter with regard to a destabilizing foreign military capability that should be known by all congressional policymakers. They said the committee had voted on Tuesday to make classified information available in a secure location for review by lawmakers until Friday. Himes urged caution, however, in a separate statement in which he described the intelligence as significant but not a cause for panic. The Republican House Speaker, Mike Johnson, also urged caution, telling reporters at the Capitol that there is no need for public alarm. Trump wants delay in election interference trial as Jack Smith continues to trash democracy. President Trump has asked the Supreme Court to lengthen the delay in the trial that comes from special counsel Jack Smith's 20202 election interference fantasy, stating that he has presidential immunity that protects him from prosecution. The former president's lawyers filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court Monday afternoon, only days following a ruling in the matter by the D.C. Appeals Court says that Trump, who is the 2024 Republican frontrunner for president, is not immune from being prosecuted in Smith's case. Trump's request asks for temporary relief to stay or block the appeals court decision from taking place. The purpose is to give Team Trump more time to file an appeal in the Supreme Court to decide whether a former president has immunity from criminal prosecution on action that were taken while in office, a matter that has held the standard that is in favor of Trump. The trial that comes from Smith's case remains on hold, awaiting a resolution of the immunity decision. The Justice Department could request an expedited decision of the initial emergency appeal. The result will be that such prosecutions will be common, leading to a destructive cycle of recrimination. This will cast a looming shadow over every future presidency by weaponizing every political opponent by extortion or blackmail with an explicit or implicit threat of indictment by future hostile administration. This prosecution will only trash democracy for generations. One of Trump's spokespersons said this is a powerhouse filing, and without proper immunity, a president will never be able to function correctly. This filing comes after D.C. federal judge Tanya Chutkan delayed the trial that was set to begin on March 4th, just a day before Super Tuesday primaries in Alabama, Alaska, American Samoa, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Vermont. Smith charged Trump with conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. Trump pled not guilty to all charges in August 2023. Systems down, Vegas casinos undergoing strange cyber attacks. MGM Properties, Caesars Entertainment, and other Las Vegas properties are enduring their 8th day of suspicious cyber attacks. The attacks first began the morning of Sunday, September 10th, and have shown very little signs of slowing down. The very next day, September 11th, came an onslaught of system failures throughout MGM Properties, leaving websites, ATMs, slot machines, and majority of financial transactions disabled at the Aria, and throughout other casinos under the MGM umbrella. It appeared that September 12th and 13th got the worst of the attacks, as they had spread from MGM Properties to Caesars Entertainment. All apps, websites, and phone lines were knocked out at both casino umbrellas. Guests had limited access to any kiosks, ATMs, and credit card transactions within these casinos. Many have also reported unusual charges to their credit cards, but have not been able to view their charges and receipts during their stays. Elevators have been down, and people have been kicked out of their hotel rooms with faulty room keys. All employee portals had gone haywire, leaving employees no choice but to check in and cash out guests by hand. According to a local source in the Las Vegas area, people are just abandoning machines with money still left in them. This all comes at the speculation of a group of cyber attackers being paid off an estimated $30 million by Caesars Properties. For reasons still unknown, MGM Properties released a statement in an attempt to alleviate public concerns and have since offered free parking at all of their casinos. Signs finally seemed to turn in the right direction on September 14th, with systems beginning to come back online, and property amenities such as restaurants, shows, and spas up and running once again. Employees at all of the casinos under attack have also been assured that they will still receive their paychecks on time. When September 15th rolled around, many casinos picked up their foot traffic. Signage could be found everywhere, making guests aware of the current cyber situation. At MGM Properties, credit card transactions still were under caution, and rooms could only be booked via third-party providers. On September 16th, a massive outage was reported at the Venetian Resort. No other reports have been made about the condition of the casino since the outage took place. By September 17th, services at MGM Properties had been disclosed to be in full operation, though there continues to be evidence suggesting otherwise. MGM Properties' website remains the hub for frequently asked questions on the pressing cyber issue. In addition, Harrah's Hotel and Casino is facing abnormal outages, but is not disclosing any further details on the situation.
It's the next era of the Taylor Swift travel boom. Are you ready for it? According to a Skyscanner travel trends report, 44% of Americans polled would take a short flight to see their favorite musician or band in concert, with 18% saying they'd fly farther. That rises to 60% if it means paying less for concert tickets. In 2024, these geek trip travelers combine their curiosity for new experiences and desire to explore the world with their love of their favorite artist to craft once-in-a-lifetime vacations. One show definitely fueling global travel, the record-breaking Taylor Swift Eras Tour resumes this month with 85 sold-out stadium shows in Asia-Pacific, Europe, Canada, and the United States. According to Lighthouse data, the Eras Tour will create the highest room rate of the year for each city it passes through. For example, Amsterdam hotels are up $173, Cardiff, Wales is up $162, and Dublin is up $108. The demand for the August concert weekend in Vienna is notably higher compared to other weekends, with several five-star properties and accommodations near the stadium already fully booked. Adds Helen Bichna, B2B Communication and Media Relations, Austrian Tourist Office, Inc., a Virtuoso preferred partner. The anticipation surrounding Taylor Swift's concerts has undeniably created a surge in demand for accommodations, reflecting the significant impact on tourism in Vienna during this period.
Trump promises to restore gun freedoms in Pennsylvania speech. Former President Donald Trump said Friday he'd never limit gun rights for Americans amid surging crime, border insecurity and global instability, all side effects of a Democratic administration he deems corrupt and immoral. Now I stand before you with a very simple promise. Your Second Amendment will always be safe with me as your president, he said. When I'm back in the Oval Office, no one will lay a finger on your firearms. It's not going to happen. Trump's pledge came during a 75-minute speech at the Great American Outdoor Show in Pennsylvania's capital city of Harrisburg as he chases the Republican presidential nomination. Even as they turn America into a crime-ridden, gang-infested, terror-filled dumping ground, Joe Biden and his thugs will do everything in their power to confiscate your guns and annihilate your God-given right to self-defense, he said. During the event hosted by the National Rifle Association, the former president recalled his efforts to protect and expand gun rights during his first term, including opening federal land for public hunting access, reversing an executive order that limited ownership rights for some Social Security recipients, and withdrawing from the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, where basically they take your guns, Trump said. He also committed to undoing a federal rule that recategorizes pistol braces as short-barreled rifles, compelling registration of the weapons lest owners face a felony charge punishable by up to 10 years in prison. 25 states have challenged the rule in federal court. Without his intervention, Trump painted a bleak picture. It means hundreds of more radical left judges waging a crusade against law-abiding gun owners, and 4 more years of Joe Biden means a non-stop war on gun makers, dealers and sellers designed to put the entire industry right out of business, he said. He didn't forget to skewer the Department of Justice's decision against charging President Joe Biden for mishandling classified documents over his 40-plus years in office, either, calling his own infractions peanuts comparatively. Trump's speech comes after a visibly upset Biden addressed the nation late Thursday to respond to a special counsel investigation that laid bare numerous examples of his memory loss. The blockbuster special counsel report, while clearing Biden, sparked questions about the 81-year-old president's mental fitness when it called him an elderly man with a poor memory. Trump didn't mince words on Friday, warning that the world teeters on the edge of World War III. We have a guy that can't put 2 sentences together and he's in charge of negotiations with Russia, with China, with North Korea, he said.